So State of Origin team selections, Matthew. Queensland will be named at 11:30. So we understand that just the regulation changes, really. Corey Horsburgh set to replace Tom Flegler out with the foot injury, and AJ Brimson will likely get the call up for Reece Walsh suspended. However, things are much more complicated on the New South Wales side of things.
Matty, we spoke this morning and you said, can you name a side? And I said, I'm going to resist it because it's such a cluster, you know what. Because, the drama is, when I look at the side, I go, okay, Cody Walker, I want Cody Walker on the left. But however, like Nico Hines, he's been in the system for a couple of years. He deserves his opportunity, deserves a fair crack. He hasn't been given that opportunity. So the drama that Freddie's got is that the chopping and changing has led it to the point that, like, another example is young Stefano. Now, Stefano is a project player who they decided to rush in and give a chance to. Now, the kid only played 11 or 12 minutes. Now, in my opinion, you've got to pick him. But in my opinion, he wasn't ready to be selected yet. So you can see the drama. There is this huge pool of players that are there, and I don't know. I don't think Freddie can afford to just keep dropping guys and discarding guys because, good luck naming the side. Put it this way with some of the things. You get what I mean. I mean, Mitchell Moses has got his chance. And Mitchell Moses is on the right. Now, they have to pick Mitchell. Mitchell is one of our better performing players in game two. First half, okay, behind a pack of forwards that was beaten. But on the left side, okay, you got Cody, you got Nico, you got Luai, who's the incumbent, who looks like he will miss out, and so on and so forth. It's just, the chopping and changing has just made it a mess.
Well, the reports coming out early this morning are that Hudson Young and Stefano will be dropped. Cody Walker will be recalled either for a starting spot or a bench spot.
Well, see, there you go. I mean, what did young Stefano do wrong? I mean, what did he do wrong? Like, he got out there, he really was, given 11 or 12 minutes. That's not a serious chance. And then why pick him in the first place? The Tavita thing in game one. The chopping and changing. It's and what happens, Matty? And I said this before the series starts. Okay, I understand you've got to pick on form, and if a guy doesn't perform, there's the ability to drop it. One of the problems we have with New South Wales is that most players enter camp on uncertain ground. In the back of their minds, it's very hard to build team spirit when, as individuals, you walk in and individually you say to yourself, geez, if I don't play well here, I'm probably going to be dropped. That is so hard to, that sort of atmosphere makes it almost impossible to build team spirit.
Winning changes everything, doesn't it? And losing, often you dig yourself into a hole. So just the final question on that. We don't know the makeup of the team, and I want our listeners to buy in because they've got plenty of questions for you, Matty. 0457 736 736. So obviously top of the list for Game 3 for New South Wales is win the game, right? That's why they're there.
Avoid the sweep. Yep.
Avoid the sweep, that's number 2. Then, what else do New South Wales? What else do you reckon New South Wales are looking for from Game 3? Is it looking ahead? Is it looking for combinations? What is it?
Well, a couple of things first of all, Matty. What we're looking for New South Wales, I think, is different to what Freddie's looking for. We're looking. I mean, from our point of view as New South Wales fans, we're looking we're looking at this game almost like it's the first game of next year, if that makes sense. To give a bit of momentum, to get back a bit of pride. That's Phil Gould would often say that. When you're fighting to avoid the sweep, always think about it's like the first game of the next series. But for Freddie's coaching to save his job. Freddie wants a big win. That's what he's after. We're thinking, okay, bed down new combinations, all these sort of things. Give a young guy a chance, see what he's capable of, see if he's up to the challenge for next year. Freddie's just thinking he's in survival mode. He's just going, no, I'm going out there not just to avoid the sweep. I want a big win to keep my job.
Hudson Young, the New South Wales and the Queensland State of Origin teams have come out. Hudson has not made it. Thoughts on that? And it's Kean Kalamatangi and Liam Martin, who are there in the second row for New South Wales.
Yeah, well, they've obviously gone with that selection, and one thing I do know about Hutto, he'll work harder at his game now. You know, he's an Origin player, and I'm sure in time that he's going to put himself back into that arena. He's a very hungry kid, or man, I should say, and you know, he'll take that and go away and look at his game and work out what he needs to improve on. You know, he's one of those players that you love to coach, and I'm sure that, you know, whether it's the Australian team at the back end of the season, I'm sure that Mal will be looking at him as we go towards the back end of the season.
Yeah, because there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, back end of last year, that he was a chance for that Kangaroo Tour, which he just missed out on. But I think it's a little bit different. So back in the day when I was playing, got dropped to reserve grade, you know, a fair bit. Shout out to you, Gus Gould. Thanks for that. But and it's different in a club environment, isn't it? Because you know, you turn up to work and you've got to walk past these guys who've dropped you and all that. It's different in State of Origin. If you're not in, you're out. Like, you're away from the group. And yeah.
And you can't go back and fix up what you may have felt that you needed to improve on.
Yes.
You know, that's a long time between the opportunities, and you know, does the opportunity come again? But I think one thing I know that Hudson will do, he'll go away, and he's very hungry to be one of the best in his position in the game. So there's no reasons why that doesn't propel him back in there at some stage. And he's got a long career. Like, you know, he'll be, you know, if not one of the great players of Canberra, but also potential captain, leader down the track, and also too, you know, just wanting to help influence the players around him. That's one thing I do see about Hutto is he's a player that players like to play with, and that's a big part of what makes you propel yourself into those teams.
One of the good things about being a coach is telling players they're in the team. One of the toughest things is telling them they're out of. Your experience across your career, especially with your representative stuff, do you generally give that feedback to the player? Hey, you're not in the side because of this, this and this, and I want you to go and work on this, this and this.
Yeah, Jimmy, I always like to do that. And look, you know, sometimes you've got to remember that, you know, there's 17 coaches across the NRL. Every 17 coach will see something different in a player, so it's an opinion. So it's how you go about how you take that information from the coach, how the coach gives that information. Is it feedback that you can go away and work on? I'm a big believer that, you know, if you're going to give some tough news to someone, give them something to work on so then they can focus on it. And unfortunately, sometimes, it's hard to take that. It's hard to give that as a coach because, you know, you're having to let down or give that information to a player that's going to miss out on the weekend's game. So you're balancing that and making sure that they're focused on, you know, especially in clubland where you might have to pick someone or drop someone within a week, but the week after they're playing. So you've got to make sure that you manage that player, and they've also got to manage themselves on how they respond. And I think that's the key to when players move up and down levels, is your response to what you do from the information.
One of the players that you have brought up for his first ever NRL game as a 26-year-old was Cody Walker. Now, here we are 7 seasons later, and he's back in the New South Wales side. I don't know whether you saw the game on Friday night, but the word I used to describe his performance was mesmeric against the Warriors. He was absolutely superb. Thoughts on Cody going back to the Origin arena?
He's playing great footy at the moment, and I think that arena definitely suits Code. He loves the big games, and you know, he sort of probably annoys a few players at times with his temperament, but you know, he just loves to compete. It's really nice to see him. I never forget when he first came through when I had him, and he wasn't quite sure where he was going with his career, but the work that he did to get to where he's got to, it's just purely down to him wanting to do the hard work. And look, he's worked at his game and the craft. I mean, he's probably one of the most deceptive players in the game at the moment. Yeah. You know, he goes to the line, he shuffles sideways, and mate, he just mesmerises players. And you watch the defence move around him, and they don't know whether he's running, kicking. You know, there was a play on the weekend where I think he chipped across to Alex Johnson. Like, no one does that. Yeah. But if you watch the way the game's evolved, especially with players down close to the line, especially the kickers, you know, defensive lines learn how to defend certain players and they stick their foot out. Then all of a sudden they go from, you know, the kicker chipping it through the little space where the foot was, but now all of a sudden someone like Cody's chipping it across over the top to a winger in Alex Johnson. But they're the combinations that you build. But watching Cody evolve his game, I think that's been enjoyable for everyone to watch.
What did you make of the New South Wales side? 7 changes, 2 new players to this level. Payne Haas out, Junior Barlow drop, Regan Campbell-Gillard back. Jake Trebojevic in the side. Was there anything that stood out for you? Bradman Best on debut.
Yeah, Jimmy, I've actually been out in the training field, so I've only just really
Right.
put my head into the team. So obviously seeing there's quite a number of changes, and look, I think Freddie's looking for a reaction, I guess, and he's selected a number of players there that will come in and, they're playing some good footy. A lot of those names that you just spoke about there, that like Bradman Best on the weekend, it'll be really exciting to see how he excels at that level. How he had a good game on the weekend and he's running the length, but the levels of football are going to be a lot different when you step up into Origin Arena. So it's how that player steps up to that level and how they handle that. And that's where someone like using Hutto as an example, it would have been nice to see, because once you get that opportunity and you get a taste for it, you want more. He'll go away. But for these players coming in now, it's their opportunity.
How does playing Cameron Murray as the starting 13 change things for New South Wales with Isaiah Yeo on the bench, or does it change things?
Well, you've got to remember Cam Murray and then Cody Walker coming in. There's a connection there.
Yep.
So I'd imagine he's going to look to try and rely on that. And look, between Yeo and Cam Murray, geez, there's not much between them. And look, Cam, I'm a big fan of Cam and how he can dig right into the line like Yeo. Cam's got a quick play of the ball, and they'll play off the back of that. Or Cody will definitely play off the back of that in that combination. So having Cook there, you've got three guys that have been playing together for quite a bit, and then obviously with Key on there's another one.
Yeah, absolutely. On the other hand, though, Madge, Queensland, they had a couple out, so they just brought the other couple in. AJ Brimson at the back. And it would have been very exciting for the Canberra Raiders. Corey Horsburgh, after being 19th man last game, gets a start into the 17. That's so exciting for him.
Oh, it is, Jimmy. I think we spoke last week about what's it do to a player when they go into that arena. And you can just see Corey, just how he's come back and the experience he's had. And he's talking about, Billy told me this and Cameron Smith told me that. And just the confidence that brings. Now that all of a sudden he's playing and he's going to get a feel of what it feels like at that speed, the club's going to benefit. The Raiders, we're definitely going to get a player will come back with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more knowledge, and he'll try and impart that into how he plays. So, which is a good thing for us moving into the back end of the season.
Well, I think everyone that listens to your hour has a bit more confidence, a bit more knowledge. Maybe that's a bad thing for me. I think I've got enough confidence. I might need to knock a bit off, but knowledge, we've got to keep learning. Hey, we've got to get ourselves to a break.